coming off a late game loss. Last episode, week 11, Philadelphia Eagles. Looked like for a good portion of that game, we were going to get another win over a division rival. But late in the game, I'm pretty sure with like less than 10 seconds left, if I'm remembering correctly, we gave up a touchdown and ended up losing the game that we were in control of for a good majority of the time. This year has been just really up and down at certain points. We have some really good stretches, some really bad stretches. We're 3-7, 2 games below the next lowest team, the New York Giants in our division, who are 5-5. This is probably the best opportunity for us to get not necessarily an easy win, but a win. The Los Angeles Rams are 2-8 on the year, have a 79 offense, 80 defense, 79 overall team. They still have some dudes for sure, so let's see if we can do whatever we can to actually come out on top this week. And we will be getting this thing started off receiving the opening kick. Dylan back to return. We'll just take a knee. We'll start at the 25. And welcome back to the field. Your starting quarterback, Jack Cohn, has come back from nursing a shoulder injury early. I don't say early on, but it's kind of been something that has seemingly been nagging at him. We should still see a decent rotation, though, with all possible 3 quarterbacks, again, depending on how well they hold up. That's just been a problem for them, as they do get the first down the middle with Borgie. But yeah, the quarterback stamina fatigue has been a problem. That was one of the things weighing in on Cohn, was just nursing that injury that's just been nagging at him. So we let him sit the last couple weeks as we gave Tyler Huntley the start. And in a way, the roles kind of reversed. Now, Tyler Huntley has some nagging injuries and Cohn is back. So that just feels like that's just going to kind of be what it is, as Cohn's going to have his first pass finding Bodden, who we did see kind of break out last episode, getting a few different looks. So perhaps we try to work him into the running game as well. There was that fullback triple option that worked out pretty well, at least for one play, as Turbin, as well as an offensive lineman, moves away Aaron Donald. First down. But as we keep this drive going, how did you guys enjoy draft weekend? For me personally, Minnesota Vikings fan, it was interesting. There were choices made that kind of made sense, kind of didn't. And I feel like one of the biggest takeaways just overall is that the Philadelphia Eagles are 100% trying to become the Georgia Bulldogs, which was very interesting, as Cohn going to look to try to scramble here, will throw away just in time. Also, one thing to note, have not mentioned it yet, Manny Fox, our slot receiver, is out in this game. He broke his finger during practice, so we will see Bo Melton in his place, as Cohn gonna look to scramble here, try to get to the corner. We'll get close to the first, but inches shy. But it's nothing new to go for it here on this, or in this series, so that's what we're gonna do. 4th and inches at the 37, Turbin will check in, and we'll get the first down and about 5 extra. And I feel like in this game, we're probably going to see more of rushing than passing, as that continues to be one of our better, as we actually lose a yard on this play. But from an overall standpoint, still typically has been our better way of moving the ball, as Huntley does check in for a little bit of some read option play here. Hales in the backfield as well, but we will keep this one with Huntley. Has space to the outside. Can we get a spin? No, actually we get a fumble instead. Scooped up by number 98. Here comes in Ruckert, the tight end. Well, at least get the stop. It's not going to be a scoop and score, but unfortunately we're going to miss out on a great opportunity to score ourselves. And when you're 3-7, you really don't want to miss out on opportunities like that. The Rams here do still have Stafford as well as Cam Akers. If you were here for the Florida-only challenge, you know how good Akers can be. So we'll need to find a way to stop him, and they do actually run just slightly more than they do pass, 51 to 49%, as Shaka Tony gets a hit in there on Stafford, who throws it away. but they do still have several good receiving targets here. I mean, obviously Cooper Kupp being the primary one, but tight ends have continued to be a struggle for us. They check down here, but not going to get the catch. Rice knocks it free and will force a punt. And as the offense retakes the field here, hopefully a much better drive, or at least capping off a drive better. Started off pretty good, but we were talking about the real life draft last time. Let's talk a little bit about this current draft, at least when we get to the next offseason for this specific series. There really is not a group that we can't address, as we're going to roll out here with Cone, who's going to overthrow Justin Ross. But as I was saying, yeah, there's really not a position group on this team that we cannot not address, if that makes much sense. As we're going to go across the middle here, but Aaron Donald gets a hit in on Cone. We'll have to punt. And we will start to see or include a little bit more of the draft prospects as we move along this second half of the season, as Akers gets down the middle here. Solid run on first down, gain of 6. But I would like to hear from you guys. Who do you think are people on the squad this year who deserve to keep their starting spot next year? That might help kind of direct where we go in the offseason as well as the draft. Personally, obviously Shaka Toney, probably my favorite player on this team. He definitely has his spot locked in. He's also a superstar, as there's a nice tackle by Everson Griffin. But past Shaka Toney, is there anyone else on this defense who deserves to have their starting spot next year? We've seen some decent play from guys like Blake Cashman at linebacker, but he is on the older side. And as we head on into the second quarter, I do want to shout out Amadi. He has played decently well for us this year, and at times Artie Byrne has as well. Do I think they're long-term for us? Not quite sure, but the defense playing pretty well today. They get another stop here. Looks like it'll be a field goal attempt for the Los Angeles Rams for the first points of the day. This would be about a 47-yarder. Snap is back, hold down, kick is up, headed right down the middle. 3-0 goes the Rams. As for our offense, I think my favorite player on that side is Max Borghi. The Christian McCaffrey lookalike has played really well for us. Unfortunately, he gets tripped up by his own offensive lineman here. But I do think Borghi has been good. We do have Turbin as well, so I feel like we're really solid at running back, and it's not really a position that I think we necessarily need to try to go after. As we try to find a comeback pass there, it was forced for sure. And it will be yet again another turnover for this offense. That was a situation Cone probably should have just thrown it away. Instead, he tries to force it to, I believe it was Fehoko was the intended target, who is fairly new to the squad. And there is going to be Cooper Kupp actually in for a touchdown. I thought that was down at the 1, but no. A quick score, capitalizing off the INT. And already I feel like we're at a crucial point in this game. It could go one of two ways, depending on how we perform this drive. And we start off with a nice 12-yard gain there by Borghi. Really need to end this drive with any amount of points. Otherwise, you never know. Might see the Rams start to run away with it. And that's definitely not what we're looking to do here, as a sack Aaron Donald right down the middle. Great coverage. Didn't have time to throw it away. And for the first time today, Matt Ryan will head out after the sack. Cone heads to the sideline. So let's see if the veteran quarterback can find us some targets here as we try to go underneath. Justin Ross can't find the ball. Now, I think Justin Ross could be a solid player for us. However, I feel like we're still missing at least that number one guy on offense, as another pass rush is coming in. Aaron Donald forces, I mean, it's kind of a pass, but not really. And once again, with a quick drive on offense that goes nowhere, at least wasn't a turnover, I start to think again about what I had mentioned, I think last episode, maybe the episode before, as a quick throw there from Stafford will find Jefferson. But as the season goes on, the more I think we do need to switch to a more West Coast college style offense. Quick throws, screen passes, include the run. Obviously, we know Borghi and Turbin deserve it. And maybe a little bit of some read option mixed in there as well. Just provide as many opportunities as possible as Shakatoni will throw off the accuracy, and defense will continue to get stops when not put in poor situations. I also think that switching to a more college-style form would actually kind of help us out with our quarterback options, as Simi Fehoko gets the screen pass here and will, at least get a couple yards out of it. But I do feel it would help the quarterbacks. We don't have to focus as much on them having great throw power. We could just simply focus on accuracy ratings and go from there. So potentially, it might actually open up available quarterbacks for us in the draft. Because sometimes if they have like solid accuracy or solid throw power, as that was almost a great catch by Bo Melton. Does hit the ground though. But yeah, sometimes if the quarterbacks just have a solid or even lower throw power, like I won't even really look at them, but that's just something we might have to do, as that is some defensive pass interference. But no penalty comes down. Instead, it's a turnover on downs. So again, defense put in a poor spot here. This is the Rams start at the 39 already in plus territory. They will go with a pass. Shakatoni doesn't get the sack. Instead, the screen pass lasered into Cam Akers, who will get 4 on the play. Couldn't tell you how that pass was completed, let alone thrown. As let's make an audible here. Didn't quite like what we lined up with the blitz. No one gonna get into the backfield here, as Jefferson will get the first. As for the defense, I still am not noticing any of these DTs specifically making any big impact plays. And that really goes for either stopping the run or getting some interior pass rush. Really, our pass rush is primarily Shakatoni, occasionally the rookie in Dillard, or even Cashman right down the middle on a blitz as he hits home here. So I think as we move towards next season, I definitely want to make sure we lock down Cashman. I think he's been solid for us, could potentially help a young linebacker grow perhaps, maybe even Monty Rice, who is already on the team. I think Dillard over at the right end spot has shown splashes of being a solid guy. Do I think he should be a starter or rotational? Probably more towards a rotational, at least at this time. But having said all that, the defense is still getting stops. Forcing a field goal here after the turnover on downs would be a 41-yarder. They already hit a 47-yarder earlier, and they'll hit this one. And with only 32 seconds left before halftime, can we find a way to get down the field here and at least get a field goal on the board? Something to carry momentum into the second half, as we're going to dump this one off Alton Campbell. Doesn't even catch it. Could definitely use, I think, some amount of receiving targets. As they're trying to roll out here, that pass greatly underthrown for Borghi. Might be a pick 6 right before half. But our offensive lineman gets the tackle. That's Billy Price, I'm pretty sure our center. But that does, however, give the Rams an opportunity to go up 3 scores before half. Shakatoni, though, is going to get a sack, trying to keep them out of the end zone. But I do think it's time to go ahead and make a shift with the offense, even halfway through a game, and try to see with the current playbook if we can switch to more of a West Coast college style offense, as they go Cooper Kupp, who breaks a tackle, but then Amadi slams him down. And on 3rd and goal, they're just inside the 1. Can the defense get one more stop? Not when you leave Jefferson wide open to the outside. The veteran Matt Stafford is going to find him every time, and it will be a 3-score lead. And after a 1-play, another interception on a Hail Mary attempt, that time for Matt Ryan, we'll head into halftime. 4 turnovers already on the day. We have -2 passing yards. 66 rushing yards, though, so I guess there's something positive. As we look around the league, first game, Eagles, who we just played against and lost to very late. They beat the Cowboys, who actually still are atop the division. 21 points for the Cowboys, but they give up 49 to the Eagles. As for this second match, or second game, got a Cardinals taking on the Steelers, 14-3. Again, neither of those teams playing really well at all. Looks like the best running back for the Cardinals doesn't even have a carry nor a yard gain. as the Giants, another division foe, taking on the Dolphins. 21-17, Dolphins get the win. Giants fall under 500. Well, if we could manage to turn things around here the second half, we could get a game back on the Giants, who obviously didn't have a very good game today. But you could say a very similar thing, at least for our offense. Again, like, we're down 20-0, but it's not on the defense. The defense has played really well. As they get a pass across the middle here, Jefferson with the hands gets a gain of 6. On 2nd and 4, they'll come out with a tight ace formation. We're going to bring some blitzes on the outside as they motion over. Jet sweep. Jefferson gets swallowed up by the blitz. That's Cashman. Now, can the defense get the stop here on 3rd and short? Give our offense at least another opportunity to try to get some points on the board as Shaka Toney gets back there quickly, but not as quickly as Matt Stafford got that ball away. Now, the Rams will continue their drive just past the 35. Continue on with some passing plays as we really had to choose between either covering Higbee or Akers. We chose Akers, and, well, they clearly went Higbee. And I feel like we still can only really get decent coverage when we bring blitzes, as Akers finds a little bit of some space there, gain of 3. But if we don't bring a blitz, I feel like the coverage really doesn't hold up very well. So we continually have to try to bring extra guys, and even then, they still find, well, Cooper Kupp on this one. He would get a nice gain down to the 34. And when you play veteran quarterbacks, they're going to be able to pick up on the blitzes a lot quicker and find their open guys. So we drop out of the double A-gap blitz and actually bring him into coverage, but clearly still not working as Higbee goes for about 20. Now, I will say the style of corners we do have on this roster aren't particularly my favorite style of corners. I like a big press man kind of guy, and we have more so zone and more a soft zone. We really can't play much press. We're trying to work on that with the coaching boosts as we can get some press ability. We're focusing more on the offense right now, trying to improve the receivers' releases just so we could try to, I don't know, actually get some guys open quickly for our quarterbacks, help avoid some sacks as we send the blitz here, and they throw right over it. Cooper Kupp has 2 on the day. Well, let's try to bring out that new look offense. Start with some screen, RPOs, try to see if we could get anything going here. Also probably doesn't help that Aaron Donald is sitting right in the middle. But we just have to do whatever it is we can. A little bit of read option here on 2nd and 9 as they will come down on the running back. We tried to leak out with Cone. It'll actually be a loss of 2. And on 3rd and 11, we'll bring out Tyler Huntley here in his shotgun formation. We'll motion over Ruckert. He'll leak back to the left-hand side. We'll see if anyone else can get open. And maybe for a split second there was something. But it ends up going nowhere. It'll be another punt. Well, very similar to, 2 games ago? Whoever scores first will be the offensive player of the week. Whether it's a defensive player, a special teams player, doesn't really matter. Whoever gets the first points on the board, they're going to earn it. Did kind of feel a little bit bad for Borgie in that game, though, who was leading the way for it until, I believe it was Alton Campbell, finally got some points on the board, and he ended up getting Offensive Player of the Week as a decent hit there from Amadi, but a nice move from the tight end gets yet again another first down. And honestly, if I were the Rams, I would just go ahead and just start chewing the clock here. Doesn't look like they're going to as they motion over one of their receivers, Cooper Kupp. Fake the jet sweep. Hand it off to Akers, who we stopped pretty well there. Amadi as well as Cash. Actually, my bad. It was Burns and Cashman. Like I said, Burns he makes some plays occasionally. Not every time. Sometimes in coverage, sometimes in the running game. But overall, I feel like he could be a solid depth guy, possibly even like a slot guy in the future. However, if I remember correctly, I do want to say he is on the older side. So that is one thing to consider. You know, do we stick with some older guys or do we try to just go with the younger ones as we do actually knock that one away? 22 makes the play and we'll finally force a punt. So back to the new look offense we go. Again, just trying to find something that works as we hand this one off. Borgie will get about 3. And I do feel like the new offense is going to be primarily a spread and pistol formation, maybe with an occasional strong or I formation as we get To the outside, but kind of cut down the middle goes Stoner, who almost gets the first down. And on 3rd and inches, we'll set up a possible bubble pass here to Melton, or we'll just hand it off. No, let's go out to Melton, and what's that pass, Matt Ryan? Madden sometimes just doesn't quite make sense. You have a receiver wide open like that, and they still can't even find him. Turban, however, will check in and get the first down, though. And honestly, at this point, I just want to see who's going to make the plays when we come out in this look. Try to get this one out to Dylan. However, he's not going to quite find the edge, but he will still find a gain of 5. And now on 2nd and 5, can we leak out Borgie on the screen? They do not bring the blitz, and they actually cover it really well. We'll throw away late. Now on 3rd and 5, Huntley checks back in. He really hasn't seen much play time since his early turnover, but we will go with the read option here on 3rd and 5. Go ahead and hand this one off as Hales tried to get to the outside. He gets stuck again on a lineman. It'll be a loss of downs. Might as well go ahead and still go for it, though. I mean, the worst case scenario is we give up more points, but we're already losing anyway, so why not? We'll have Cone out there, see if he can find some space. Not really. We'll throw back across, and Campbell can't quite get to it. Not a great throw there by Cone, who's only 2 of 11. Well, eventually, someone is going to have to make a play. 1st and 10, the Rams check in on offense, and Akers actually has a pretty solid run down the middle. About 10 carries today, but less than 20 yards. So in the rushing department, defense has been playing really well. I mean, in total, the defense has been playing pretty well, despite the score. That's more so, I would say, on the offense, as there's been, 4 or 5 turnovers in this game? Now, I would love our defense to force a fumble or something, get a scoop and score. Just go ahead and outscore our offense. That would just be kind of the icing on the cake. On 2nd and 6, we'll bring out the double A gap as they do switch out of things. Have now a bunch to the left-hand side, but that's not going to stop our blitz. Shakatoni gets picked up pretty well, and they find Higbee underneath several different guys in the corners. Had no idea what was happening. Oh, we maybe have one more go on offense, so let's see if we can make anything happen. Borgie will take the handoff here. We'll get another 3 or 4 on 1st down. Now, I don't necessarily remember, at least, if any of our current running backs are decent receiving backs, but we're going to give them a look, but apparently we can't get that screen pass off. It'll be a sack from Matthews. And as we get close to the 2-minute warning here, about 2.5 minutes and counting left in this game, probably mercifully. Throw this one out late. Alton Campbell not going to get back to it. This team just doesn't have it in them. And really all we can hope for now is that the Rams just go ahead and run out this clock. They come out with a bunch to the left. They do hand it off. Cam Akers down the middle, trying to at least clean up his stat sheet. And luckily it does look like the Rams do just run out the clock. Not going to try to tack on any more points. It'll be a woeful 34-0 loss as the offense just couldn't do a single thing today. And as we head off the field, 0 passing yards. 0. Less than 100 overall yards as we had 75 rushing, which was better than them. But 0 passing yards. And after such a pitiful quarterback performance, I think it's time to talk about quarterbacks, right? Who do we possibly have coming in the next draft class? And the top guy, quarterback James Cody from Boston College, 6'2", 206. Looks like he could be really good. Honestly, I wish he was in the Northeast state-only challenge, as currently we did make the playoffs, so make sure you guys watch that series. As their season 1, we're in the playoffs, so pretty good there. But there are no other quarterbacks, and Matt Ryan could very well retire after the season. But James Cody, I think one of the important things to note here, at least on this page, fast motion that emphasizes a high release. So he's going to get rid of that ball pretty quickly, which is good because sometimes the slowing motion really can be costly. He has good to great throw power, but overall is just a tremendous athlete. He has great to elite strength, jumping, change of direction, agility, and acceleration. Really anything you would need, he has. In terms of his quarterback ratings themselves, definitely want to point out A, awareness. Fantastic. He also has A for break sack, throw on the run, throw under pressure, and medium accuracy. His short and deep are B's, which I think would end up being fine. He'll probably actually be a fairly well-balanced quarterback in terms of his accuracies, with carrying being A to a B. If we're to switch to a college West Coast style of offense, this is it, right? This is the kind of guy that we would be looking for. The other options at quarterback, I don't feel like they necessarily fit, despite some of them having some pretty decent accuracies, like the round 2 to 3 quarterback out of Ohio, Blake Hartman, who has A deep, B medium, and then A to C short. But he's slow and has a elongated throwing motion, similar to Jeff Wilson. However, doesn't have as much of the accuracies with A to C deep, C medium, and B deep. And that's kind of what it is for a lot of the guys here in the mid rounds. When you get to the late rounds, there is a quarterback that has some intriguing ability. Ricky Teague out of Eastern Michigan. He's a day 3. He has a compact, fast, traditional motion, so that's fine. Gets the ball out quickly. That's what we need. He does not have a strong arm, poor to marginal. But again, if we're running that West Coast college-style offense where it's a lot of screens or quick throws, you don't necessarily need the deep arm. You really just need the accuracy. And he at least can throw a decent short and medium. We don't know about the deep, B to D, but again, doesn't have the arm strength really for that. C awareness and break sack with B to D throw on the run and B throw under pressure. So he seems intriguing as a potential guy to develop if we have extra picks to bring in 2 quarterbacks, which probably won't, but he's still intriguing as a day 3. Now, further down the line into the undrafted, or at least potential undrafted, there are 2 guys that potentially could be brought in as undrafted quarterbacks, being Kenny Jones out of North Texas and Morgan Donnell out of South Dakota. They both show signs of having some decent accuracies. Again, we don't care as much about the throw power with the potential offense that we move forward with. It's more so going to be focused on the accuracies. But that will conclude the episode and conclude the draft portion of this episode. Again, I think that first quarterback could definitely well be our guy. Being 3-8, we're one of the worst teams in the NFL. We should be able to pick him up no problem. Fingers crossed, knock on wood. But we also are going to be facing another one of the teams that are one of the worst in the Chicago Bears, who are also 3-8. 80 across the board offense, defense, and just overall team. I don't want to necessarily throw games, right? But we do need to find out a way to get this offense moving, right? 0 passing yards today is not good. So I don't even think the offense deserves a player of the week. So we'll have defensive player of the week for sure. Let me know who you think deserves it. I know I have my pick, but let me know in the comment section who you think deserves player of the week on defense. And then as we move forward, make sure you subscribe, hit that down below, or hit my bear icon in the bottom right to subscribe, but make sure you tick that bell icon to be notified of when all of my videos go live. We are up to 6 videos a week, 4 on Madden, 2 on FIFA with the Commanders Replacement Squad. This series every Monday and Thursday, the state-only challenge Wednesday and Saturday, and then the FIFA My Player Career on Tuesdays and Fridays. So a lot of content. Stay tuned. And until next time, where hopefully the offense at least gets a single passing yard. We'll see you later. Bye.